Hey, VC Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. I am going to put an entry in for Vinyl Tag 2025. A little bit controversial. It was put out almost 2 months ago, so I'm a little late to the party, but better late than never. It was put out by a new channel to me, Edwin. His channel is Pretty Green Vinyl Guy. Appreciate him putting up the questions for us. He is a fellow Vancouver Islander, so I'm really happy to support his channel and his tag. Anyways, there's 20 questions. Let's get started. Best purchase of 2024, new or old? Well, I bought a collection at the beginning of 2024, over 500 records. I was so delighted to find this one. This is the Meters Struttin' from about 1971, I believe. Fantastic, funky record from New Orleans, produced by Allen Toussaint. These were just re-released in the last year or so. Pretty expensive re-releases, but I found an original. It's a Canadian pressing on Jubilee Records, distributed by Phonodisc, and Phonodisc is long defunct. Fantastic record. I think this one, all told, when I figured out how much these records cost me, I think I bought this for about 50 cents. Fantastic record. Struttin', Best Buy 2024, hands down. I am not going to be taking these records out of their outer sleeves, by the way. So I got so many records to file, I can't be bothered putting the sleeves back on. Anyways, 50 years later, best album from 1974. Well, I had to choose something. How about King Crimson, Starless, and Bible Black? Fantastic record. Of course, David Cross, Robert Fripp, John Wetton on bass, and Mazzy's favorite drummer, Billy Bruford. Starless and Bible Black. Best album from 1974? How can you say that? So many records were released in 1974. An album that defines a genre. Well, oh gosh, genre. I don't even know how. We're genre crazy. We just might slice and dice music categories so that I guess you can describe what type of music it is. We used to just call stuff rock music, soul music, very basic stuff back in the 70s. But I picked an artist that I don't think anybody else has chosen, but how about what used to be called just a male vocalist, the great Tony Bennett. Just defines that genre. Jazz singer, standard singer, fantastic career. I think he was recording for over 70 years. Fine gentleman. If you ever seen him on The Tonight Show, very smooth, cool guy. A painter as well, a great artist. I think he defines the genre, male vocalist, Tony Bennett. And this is Tony Bennett's all-time greatest hits. This was probably doesn't include all his greatest hits because this was released in 1972, but fantastic double set. If you ever see this around, you can probably pick it up for about $5 or $6. Fantastic stuff. Great singer. Best band from your home country. Well, I'm from Canada. I would have to say, I know a lot of people would pick the Tragically Hip or somebody like that. They're certainly probably the most loved band in Canada, but I would say that the Guess Who exemplify Canadian band. Great band from Winnipeg, center of the country. You wouldn't expect a band from Winnipeg to have the impact that these guys did, but this is an album called Share the Land. Some great songs on here. Hand Me Down World, Bus Rider, Share the Land, Coming Down the Road, Song of the Dog. Great record, great band, and Randy Bachman used to be in this band, and when Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings were together, they wrote some fine songs together. The Guess Who, one of my favorite Canadian bands. And, okay, question number 5. I'm going to slow down so I don't miss any of these questions. An artist that you miss dearly? Well, I miss Tim Hardin. Fantastic singer-songwriter, interpreter of songs, jazzy, rocky, fantastic, varied career. Died tragically, I think in the 90s. I have his last album. Every time I am digging at a record fair or in a record store and I find a Tim Hardin record that I don't have, I just grab it, and that's mine. So this is 1970, I think 1973 or 1972. Album's called Bird on the Wire. It does a fantastic version of Leonard Cohen's Bird on a Wire. Tim Hardin, I miss him dearly. Best live album in your collection? Well, I don't have best of anything. I have sometimes favorites of the moment, and I'll show you a record that I really like. I've been listening to it quite a bit in the last year or so. This is Ian Hunter's Welcome to the Club. Double live set, of course, produced by Mick Ronson and Ian Hunter. Ian Hunter, of course, of Mott the Hoople. Mick Ronson, late of David Bowie's band, of course, good friend to Ian, and Mick Ronson plays on this record. This is a record that you can find any day of the week for $5 to $10. Great live set. Steve, my buddy Steve in Chicago, big Ian Hunter fan, so I'm going to show that for Steve. Your partner just dumped you. What album are you putting on? Oh gosh, I hope my partner never dumps me, because I don't even know where I don't know anything about the banking or paying bills, because my wife does all of that. I would be lost. So anyways, I didn't know how to answer this, and I was just thinking about this guy the other day. Somebody showed an album of his in another channel, but maybe I'd throw a Robin Trower album on. This is For Earth Below. Love Robin Trower, really bluesy, slow, psyche record. Great guitar player. Who knows? I don't know what I would play if my partner left me, but maybe I'd play some Robin Trower. Best sounding drums on an album. Well, I don't know what the best sounding drums on an album is, but a drummer that doesn't get any kudos in the VC at all. And that's the drummer for Roxy Music. Here he is here in the bottom corner of, the name of the record is Love is a Drug, isn't it? Sorry. Siren. The album's called Siren. Very, very bad lettering. But Paul Thompson, here he is down the bottom. Fantastic drummer, doesn't get any recognition in the VC, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. Great, great drummer. Fantastic, powerful drummer. Helped define the Roxy Music sound. So I am saying Paul Thompson is one of the best drummers in the business. Roxy Music. Favorite artist who is a member of two bands? Well, gotta pick Ronnie Wood. Member of the Small Faces, the Faces. This fantastic record, and Not As Good as a Wink. This is the first, and then he went on to play for the Stones, and he was a guest star on this record, Black and Blue. They did manage to put his face on the cover, but he was not an official member of the Rolling Stones at this point. Shortly thereafter, he was asked to join them. So Ronnie Wood, fantastic, muddy guitar player, perfect foil for Keith, for sure. So Ronnie Wood's two bands, Beatles or Stones. I have to choose. I guess I would have to say the Beatles were more influential when I was younger, because I was 9 years old when they played in the Ed Sullivan Show. I remember that very, very clearly. I didn't really cotton onto the Stones until maybe 1966. It was 1966 when they put out Satisfaction. And of course, after the Beatles stopped recording together, I went all in on the Stones. And yeah, so I love them both. I'm not going to choose. I'm going to just say both. You found a bag of weed. What are you going to listen to? You don't have to find a bag of weed in Canada because it's legal all across the country. Just go to the store and get it. But anyways, the album I'm choosing is Supertramp, Crime of the Century. Hey, a bag of weed makes anything sound better, doesn't it? Not that I've ever tried it, especially my kids are watching this, but Supertramp, Crime of the Century, fantastic, fantastic audiophile record. Great to listen to if you've just found a bag of weed. An album from the 80s that you still listen to. Well, This was the only band, this is the only album from this band that I had for a long time. And this is the Psychedelic Furs. This is from 1985. And it's called Midnight to Midnight. I've had this since the 80s. I've played it all the way through the 90s, the 2000s. And I've just started to increase my Psychedelic Furs collection. I've got about 6 of their records now. I just love them. But I've been listening to this for a long time. So that's my choice for 80s record. I'm trying to beef up my 80s collection, post-punk, and it is slow going indeed. Trying to catch up after 40 years is not a great way to go. An artist whose political stance has soured you. Well, I don't really like artists that try to tell me how to vote for anything, whether in Canada or trying to influence the American election. But this guy is an example of somebody that's been at the forefront for the Democratic Party. And I don't have anything against the Democrats. I'm not a shill for the Republicans. But he would shill for, I mean, if the Democratic Party nominated a Dachshund, Bruce would be out there front and center doing benefits for them. So I'm going to say Bruce Springsteen. I used to, less of a Bruce Springsteen fan now, but I used to be a huge Bruce fan. Listen to him less these days. Maybe this album the most of all lately. Nebraska is a great album. And, you know, the voice of the working man who's never worked a day in his life. He's never held a job in his life. Of course, he's a musician, and that's a tough job. So anyways, Bruce Springsteen. He's the guy that sort of turns me off politically. Show a favorite record label. Okay, I have this. I don't have these in order, but I guess I want to show you this record. This is Vertigo, and this is my only Vertigo swirl. So if you just give me a second, and I will show you my swirl. And this is Ian Matthews. Used to be in Fairport Convention, but he's had a long solo career. And the album is called Tigers Will Survive. And it is on the swirl. Still got the original inner. And here is my only swirl. Fantastic record that was given to me by my good friend, Art, North Carolina vinyl picker. Art, I owe you, man. We met last summer. So that was 2024 was a great year for that as well, meeting people. He was kind enough to give me that record, so thanks very much, Art. I owe you one, buddy. And but I am also going to show another label that I think is just a great label, and that is Island Records. I'm going to show you this record. This is Andrew Ballou, Twang Band. It's called Twang Bar King. Slow down, Jack. I picked this up this summer in Kingston. I'm going to show this one for Brian, Embryonic Robot. It's on Island Records, and Island Records has had a number of labels. This isn't the best label, but the reason I like Island Records is because if you find something on Island, they just recorded so many different types of artists and genres. Usually if you find something on Island, it's got something going for it. Chris Blackwell's label. So Island Records and Vertigo. Two great labels. Just a second. Show me a run of 3 great singles. Well, first of all, I stopped listening to the radio a long time ago. Ever since it went to format. I guess I stopped listening to the radio around 1974. And I don't collect singles, so I can't show you singles or a run of 3 great singles. But something that just came to mind was this Pretenders album. And this is Learning to Crawl. And they had 3 nicely charting records off of this record. This is for Gary at Physical Format Rock and Roll, Physical Format Jazz, as Mike calls it. 3 songs: Middle of the Road, Back on the Chain Gang, and My City Was Gone. 3 great singles from this record. The run of the best run of singles? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. So, Pretenders. 3 great singles off an album. A record store day purchase you still listen to. Never bought one. We don't have a record store day here in Victoria for some reason. None of the record stores participate, and I'm not sure that I would buy record store day release anyways. Maybe I would if I ran into one that sort of had surplus 3 or 4 months or a year later. Anyways, next question, number 17. We're getting to the end here. If you can be reincarnated as any artist, dead or alive, who's it going to be? Well, I'm going to pick somebody that's alive who's had a really interesting career. And I don't really believe in reincarnation, but I'm going to answer the question anyways. How about come back as Neil Young? Fantastic career. He's always just pleased himself. He's had fantastic success. He's had fantastic troughs of his career. Always just speaks his mind. Yeah, just an interesting guy. And this is, of course, Tonight's the Night. Fantastic record from his trilogy. All right, number 18. No, best 3 lines in any song. All right, I've got this backwards, but I am going to pick some lines, more than 3 lines from this unheralded record from Bob Dylan. This is Planet Waves. It's a great record that he recorded with the band in 1974. It's one of 2 records on Asylum that he recorded when he left Columbia, before he returned to Columbia. But the song, I'm going to read the lyrics to, and the song is from Forever Young. And these are good words to live by. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you always have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. Great lyrics. Great lyricist. I mean, beyond a doubt. Number 19. An album you never tire of. Well, that's pretty hard. But here's a band that I never tire of. And I always, you know what's coming up. People who watch my channel, yeah. Drive-By Truckers. This is the big to-do. And I always find time to play Drive-By Truckers album every 3 or 4 weeks or so. Probably the band that I play most often. Check them out, Patterson Hood, Mike Cooley and gang. Yeah, great band, highly recommended. Southern rock, alt country, whatever you want to call it. Fantastic stuff. And last but not least, number 20. Share your favorite VC channel. How can I do that? It's like choosing one child over the other. But I am going to not go out on a limb. I've got lots of friends in the VC that support my channel, but I've got to give a special shout out to Mike from MGK Boston. Mike is a great guy. I know his family. We've spent some time together. He put together a party last year. I'm sure you've all heard of it. Putting another party together this summer. I met 13 members of the VC there. Mike has opened up his home to all of us. It just was a great weekend. Mike's a very generous guy. He's a lot of fun. He's very funny. I got to spend some time alone with him after the party was over. Some one-on-one time with him. Had a great chat, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again this summer. So there we go, Edwin. Thanks for putting those questions together. I have got a pile of records that I have to file away again. Thanks for that. Until the next time, I will be doing another video the next couple of days or so. This is a lot of fun. Until the next time, guys, cheers.